had ever seen by miles.
Get a bloody move on.
Over there,
Excuse me.
these were the best-selling cars Britain had ever seen.
Let's do this.
Over there was a 1600E, an E in amber gold, just like that. And in it was my dad. What's over there was a 1600E, an E in amber gold, just like that. And in it was my dad. And that was impossible. I can still remember now, vividly, how I felt. My knees actually buckled. I mean, the hairs on the back of my neck are rising now in exactly the same way as they did on that autumn day 50 years ago. I can also remember the enormity of the hug I gave my dad, because I was just so proud of him. I mean, he had an E. An E stood for executive. My dad had a 1600E. I mean, that meant he was better than the Duke of Edinburgh. A few years later...
Tina, hang on a minute.
A few years later, in...
There we go! Tina GXL. And I thought, well, that can't be my dad's new car. But it was.
This was the all-new Mark III Cortina. And because it was the GXL model, it had chrome strips on the grille and a vinyl roof and 4 auxiliary dials that were angled towards the driver.
It also had something called a rev counter, and I'd never seen one of those before. But when I looked at it, I suddenly became aware that my body could produce semen.
Unfortunately, not all children in Britain were as fortunate as James and me, because some of them were born in Birmingham. And you couldn't really have a Ford here because this was the home of British Leyland.
I grew up here on this street, and I remember the day my dad came home with our new car. I prayed it would be a Cortina, literally prayed, but it wasn't. What it was a shoulder-sagging bag of disappointment called the Austin Allegro Estate. It doesn't even have 4 doors. What was my father thinking? Why did he do that to us? I fell to my childish knees, threw my head back, and I howled at the sky.
Because my dad had the GXL, he got the brake servo and the alternator as standard. I'm sorry to keep banging on about this GXL thing, but my mate Lonnie, his dad only had an XL, so he was scum. Go! rubbish. I've never driven one of these before, and to be honest, I never wanted to, because that really would be meeting a childhood hero. But, I love it, though.
Thanks, even better now, can't you? What about this one? That's it.
Outside of Birmingham then, everyone, young and old, was in love with Ford's four-door saloon. Because of this love affair, Ford sold a Cortina somewhere in Britain every 47 seconds. In 20 years, they sold 2.6 million of them. And let me put it this way, British Leyland took twice as long as that to sell half as many Minis. The Cortina then had become a part of the fabric of Britain. It was the nitrogen of our existence. But on the 22nd of July, 1982... Now, Ford decided there was only one way to get everybody to fall.
Let's see what all the fuss is about.
On the 22nd of July, 1982...
Let's do this.
Now, Ford decided there was only one way to get everybody to fall in love with its new mid-sized family saloon. It was something they'd done before. Make a fast version.
Hurry up! Begin! Unleash the beast! Come on, come on, come on. Oh, my word! Give me everything you've got. Are you ready?
It was 1986. Lots of cars could do 150, but not a Ford. That was madness. BMW and Mercedes could not believe it. This was the gardener coming into the parlour and kicking the Baron's teeth out. To keep the road-going rocket ship pointing mostly in the right direction, it got beefed-up suspension, a limited-slip diff, and its most famous feature, that massive back wing. And that wing says everything about the Cosworth. Compared with grown-up things from Mercedes and BMW, it says, ah, sod off. I don't care what you think about me.
Begin! Try it now.